It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the owner of PowerPlus Mouthguard, Dr. Michel Hutchison. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Yes, I'm doing great.
Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to start this business of PowerPlex Mouthguard?
Well, it just really kind of evolved from treating TMJ patients and helping them with their headaches and migraines. And when I did that, the patients would come back and tell me that not only was their pain eliminated, but they felt stronger and felt like they had more energy and didn't feel like they wanted to take a nap in the afternoon and wanted to know, what's that all about? And so it made me start to investigate what concept that could have in sports. And so back in 2000, I just started to test this concept and see how it would apply to sports. And it just sort of evolved into what it is today. In 2011, I put it online as a business, but it took about 11 years to research it and study it and develop it such that it became something that could actually benefit us.
How does your product minimize jaw injuries?
Well, there's something called physiologic jaw position. Each one of us has our own unique jaw position, unique to us personally. And it has to do with how your muscles function in working your lower jaw, called the mandible. And when they're asked to do actions that they're really not able to do, that sets up a discrepancy and causes nerve blockage and makes it so that we don't get that information to our muscles like we should. And so there's a blockage in it, and it diminishes our strength on the average of 16.8%. That was done with a study at Wayne State University's biomedical engineering department. But also it presses your ball and socket of the joints up against your skull. And when you receive a blow, let's say in football or hockey or any contact sport, when you receive a blow to your head, if your bones are touching, it translates that energy up into your brain and contributes to a TBI or a concussion. So those are two of the main factors in this new technology that are not mitigated by a standard 71-year-old mouth guard that everybody's using right now.
What was the research process like for you to create this product?
Well, it was very interesting because I looked at how concussions were studied and still are. And they're studied on what they call a surrogate, which is like a crash dummy. It's not really a person. Sometimes they use cadavers, which are more like a person, but as you know, they're not alive. So the physiologic function is very diminished. So what I thought of doing is going to the sports that were used to wearing mouth guards, and I had them wear this new design, this new technology. They had to wear a mouth guard anyway, and just to see what happens. And drastically, the concussion rate dropped down to 0.2%. So it was very interesting and revealing that just by changing the idea and the function of a mouth appliance or a mouth guard made such a difference in something that was very important, like concussions.
What was the process like for you of obviously getting college athletes and professional athletes to obviously okay this procedure of obviously testing out your mouth guard?
Well, that's a lot more difficult than you would think. because along with new technology and we as a human being tend to be skeptical about anything new, especially when you're at the level of college or professional, where they've gone their whole life up to that point and got to where they got by doing what they wanted to do. They're not really that used to changing. But thankfully, the science is a true principle. So you are able to demonstrate the strength increase and demonstrate concussion mitigation, actually physically. So not everybody at first tries it, but the results are always good, and that brings along those people as well.
What is the process of measuring your mouth to make sure it fits in your mouth properly?
Okay, so there's two parts to it. First, you have to determine how far over closed you are physiologically. So you have to measure, and you measure between the first front tooth on the top and the first front tooth on the lower. So your front teeth, and you close your teeth and you measure between the gum on the top and the gum on the bottom. And that determines what we call your vertical dimension. And that should be within a zone of 17 to 21 millimeters. So first you measure that, and then it determines whether you need to add material to your a mouth guard or not add material. And that's really the most important thing. And then when you determine that, the process is not to boil and bite the appliance, but the process is to warm up the plastic that the mouth guard is made of, put it on your lower teeth, and then bring your lips together and start swallowing. And that muscle contraction of swallowing is what puts you in your physiologic jaw position as the material cools down. Once it's cooled down, then you're always in that position, and your body functions at 100% and 100% safety when it comes to concussions.
Are you seeing more of your product being used on the high school level versus the college and professional level?
Obviously, yes, because there's more athletes in high school and junior high. As you get to college and professionals, the numbers go down. And basically, they're easier to reach, and they're all trying to do their best and do everything that they can to be their best. And so naturally, they become more interested in that. And also, their parents are very much more interested in safety than a professional athlete who is more interested in doing their very best and staying in their position on their team.
Who are some of the professional athletes that have used your mouth guard and obviously represented your company while using it?
Well, we have Daniel Sorensen, who plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. We have Ronnie Stanley, who plays for the Ravens. We have Taysom Hill, who plays for the New Orleans Saints. Those are some of the few. Josh Kelly plays for the Chargers. Michael Davis also plays for the Chargers, and Fred Warner plays for San Francisco. Also had Josh Bell, who plays for the Washington Nationals, and Shane Victorino, he played for the Boston Red Sox. So we have a number of professional athletes that have supported and worn PowerPlus Mouthguard, along with many of the NBA players out there that were in the playoffs this year. So professionals, college, University of Alabama, Birmingham, their team has used it for 4 years. And it's a growing thing because people are wanting to play better and wanting to play safer.
What is it like for you to obviously have your mouth guard, let's say Alabama, who is known for having the excellent football team, and other NFL players? What is that like for you, knowing that you have that mouth guard that they have?
Well, it's very, very satisfying to be able to do something that helps people. I mean, that's what doctors are all about, is helping people have a better life. And this is something that's monumental and important, because concussions really, there's no cure, there's no treatment. We don't know how to stop it except for not getting your head hit. That's about the only way we know how to stop someone from having a concussion, is to not play the game, basically. So to be able to do that and keep athletes safe and help them play their very best is really an added boon for me, and something that I really enjoy doing.
What are some of your future plans with PowrPlex Mouthguard?
Well, because it's a new technology, probably similar to like the iPhone. All right. When I grew up, when I was a kid, if somebody called me on the phone, I had to go to the wall and grab the phone that was attached to the wall and ask who it was, basically. And now we of course, don't have to do that. And this is the same thing. We still have a mouth appliance that is still made of plastic, but we have one that can make you run faster, jump higher, hit the ball farther, and almost mitigate concussions down to zero. And that is monumental. That's something that is really going to have a great effect on sports.
Of course, do you plan on coming out with more products dealing with obviously protecting the mouth and having mouth guards?
Yeah, we're researching all the time. The main focus right now is to change the mindset about what a mouth guard really does, because there's a lot of myths out there. For example, some people feel that a mouth guard prevents you from getting your teeth knocked out. That is absolutely false. The amount of force it takes to knock one of your teeth out is so much greater than any material can possibly resist. And so that's one of the goals that we have, is that a mouth guard should be used to set your body in its most optimal position and protect your teeth from banging together and fracturing. That's really now what a mouth guard should do, is to be able to do that and to dissipate the G forces that cause concussions.
Of course, with obviously having G forces and protecting your teeth, are you on the UFC level of having them use your mouth guards?
Yes, I've had several UFC fighters wear them, and they have to wear something a little bit different. It has to be more custom. It's the same physiologic concept. It's the same physiologic jaw position, but because of boxing and the nature of boxing and MMA, some of the additional protection needs to be put in place so that they can avoid lacerating their lips, and as well as getting a concussion. So, but yeah, it's a very good mouth appliance for MMA and those types of sports.
What are some of your future plans when it comes to obviously building your business of the mouth guard appliance?
Well, our goal is to make sure that every person who plays sports is wearing a proper physiologic mouth guard. And so we've not only spent a lot of effort online and social media and reaching out to as many people as possible, such as you, to help us reach your audience, to let them know, because we can probably guarantee that everybody listening to your show today has no idea about physiologic jaw position and new technology in mouth guards. And so this is a really great opportunity that we have to let them know that there's something better and something new. And also, just making sure that it's accessible to everyone who wants to play sports and wants to play better.
What advice would you give future sports business owners looking to come up with new products for sports equipment, protecting their mouth and protecting their body?
Well, I think one thing that is really important is that if you have a really good idea, you just need to be vigilant, and you just need to never give up and just to keep on plotting, because most of the time human beings are not really able to change or want to change or have the desire to change unless there's something really bad happening to them. So you need to keep persistent, you need to keep on moving, keep on going, and in the end, the people who keep on going are usually successful.
That's wonderful advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media, along with finding your product at?
You can go to PowerPlus Mouthguard.com. There's all kinds of information that you can study up on, and of course you can order it from there. And then you can, in the future, you'll be able to go to your retail outlets and find PowerPlus Mouthguard. But right now it's online, PowerPlusMouthguard.com. And if you have any questions, you can email me at PowerPlusMouthguard@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to answer all your questions.
Thank you again, Dr. Michael Hindesty, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with PowerPlus Mouthguard.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Dr. Michael Hindesty, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
You've been watching
Thank
Brandon
you.
Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.